Hello again. Good morning, good afternoon, good night, whichever time of day it is that you're watching these slides. I want to say thank you for being here. I'm Chad Schmidt, Director of Learning, and in this set of slides, my attempt is to communicate to you the process that we'll be using to prioritize standards in South St. Paul schools. In the overview presentation, you saw these learning targets and success criteria. To be as direct and explicit as I can, in this slide deck, by the end of it, you should be able to name and describe the 3 criteria for prioritizing standards, and you should be able to outline the process of how you'll collaborate with peers to identify and align priority standards. You've now watched and read a piece directly from Larry Ainsworth. Here's a quote from one of his books. Priority standards represent a carefully selected subset of the total list of grade-specific and course-specific standards within each content area that students must know and be able to do by the end of each school year in order to be prepared to enter the next grade level or course. When we identify our priority standards, we'll recognize that these will be standards that our educators will guarantee all students will know and be able to do by the end of the year. These are standards around which our teachers will create and use and review common assessments. And this is where we will focus our time and support for students who haven't mastered these standards or potentially who already have mastered these priority standards through interventions, remediation, and extension. So here's the process that we're going to use. You will set a date and a time to meet with your colleagues, your grade level colleagues, during the period of July 20th through the 31st. That's the week of July 20th or the week of July 27th. You sit down together, and the first thing you'll do is identify a section or chunk of the standards that you'll focus on. So if we're talking English language arts, you might identify foundational skills as your beginning area, or you might identify writing as your beginning area. If it's mathematics, maybe you'll focus first on number and operation. So you decide which part of the standards or which chunk of the standards you want to focus on first, and then each participant will take some time to review them and create their own personal list of priority standards using the criteria that we're going to go through here in just a minute. And then once everybody's had time to develop their own list, then you'll start sharing. And so I would suggest a round robin format where person number 1 shares, here's one of the standards that I think is a priority standard for us in this grade level. And you'll ask, does anybody else agree? Did anybody else identify that one? Do we have agreement or disagreement on this? And eventually you'll try to push yourselves and your team towards reaching consensus. I'll speak about that a little bit later, but know that you're trying to reach consensus on a final set of priority standards in each chunk or area. Once everybody's had an opportunity to share and the complete list of potential priority standards is on the table and you've discussed and decided on the ones that you can agree to, you will list those in a chart that we will provide, that the Department of Learning will provide to you and your team. And then what you do is you repeat those steps for the other areas of the standards. So you'll just go back through the standards and identify a new chunk and follow that same process. So you know the process that we'll use. Now the question is, on which basis do we prioritize standards? How do we decide what is the most important for students to know and be able to do? As you heard Larry Ainsworth describe in his video and also in the blog, the he listed 4. We're going to focus on 3 criteria. And the 3 criteria that we'll focus on are endurance, leverage, and readiness for the next level of learning. So a standard has endurance if we determine that the knowledge and skills are of value beyond a single point of instruction or test date. So as you review your standards, you'll be thinking about, does this have knowledge and skills that are valuable beyond just this particular unit or just this particular assessment? The second criteria we'll use is one called leverage. And in this, we're looking for knowledge and skills that have value in multiple disciplines. So beyond just language arts or beyond just science. What are the standards that have leverage? And finally, the third criteria that we'll use is called readiness. These are the knowledge and skills that are necessary for success in the next grade level or the next level of instruction. So In composite, you're looking at each standard and you're trying to decide, does this have endurance? Does this have leverage? And does this have readiness? And if it meets all three criteria, then you are likely to identify that as a priority standard. Just briefly to revisit the process. So what we're talking about using these criteria is when you are individually trying to decide and create your own personal list. And then as your small group shares and attempts to reach consensus around where you agree on the set of priority standards in your grade level. So as you're making sense of these criteria, endurance, leverage, and readiness, it's also important to note that you keep in mind that these priority standards, they're going to be the ones that we spend the majority of our instructional time teaching. These are ones that we will spend the majority of our energy around assessing, where we will have our data-driven discussions with our teammates about students' mastery or not mastery of those standards. And it's the ones that we'll use to focus our intervention efforts, where we will provide enrichment or provide remediation as necessary. Another pearl of wisdom from Larry Ainsworth: when considering whether to select one grade level standard over another, carefully determine which one is the more comprehensive or rigorous, not the more foundational. Educators will often say, if students could do this one, then they would certainly be able to do this other one. So we are looking for, again, not the most foundational standard, but we're looking for the priority standard. The one that meets endurance, leverage, and readiness is the one that's the most comprehensive and the most rigorous. We recognize that this isn't about eliminating standards. This is about prioritizing them. Larry Ainsworth also talks about that standards are priority standards, and then the other ones are supporting standards. They are ones that help students oftentimes help them reach the priority standard. So I'd like to spend just a minute on this notion of trying to reach consensus, because at some point in the process, I would expect that your team will have a difference of opinion about what could and should be a priority standard. So I offer these nuggets as potentially helpful parts to the conversation. So it's really simple. If everybody believes it's a priority standard, then mark it as a priority standard and move on. Or if everybody marks it as not a priority standard, then that makes it pretty easy too. However, if one or more of your team has a difference of opinion, I would encourage you to follow some of these steps. Listen to the reasons of why or why not. So you're trying to listen attentively to what your colleagues are saying. You might ask, is this standard introduced rather than mastered? So maybe it's at a different level of expectation for students. Read the corresponding standards for the grade levels before and after yours and see if that context can provide some helpfulness in making a decision about a priority standard. Clarify why one thinks this is a priority standard, returning to our criteria of endurance, leverage, and readiness. And finally, you might ask, are there other similar standards that are related to this one, and that we could then have that conversation about which one of these is the priority standard. So this isn't meant to make it simple or like it's going to go away, just that there will be some good conversations. I encourage you to view those as healthy and learning opportunities to continue to dig deep and identify the most important priority standards for our students. And just a quick reminder that you're going to do this by chunk. So you're going to take your standards for your subject area and grade level, and you're going to go through the process for each of the separate chunks that might be involved. And because we're talking about a wide variety of subject areas, it's not easy to say there's 2 or there's 4. So you're going to have to take your standards and then do this process in chunks. And the reason it's designed that way is because it helps people focus on the big ideas of that chunk, as opposed to trying to take the whole mass of 30 or 40 standards and prioritize from that big group down. So work in them in chunk by chunk. So once your team has finished all of those areas, what you'll do is you'll notify the Department of Learning so that we know that your team is done. And then I'm going to transition now to tell you about what the last step of the process will be, which is a vertical articulation and alignment process. So once each set of grade level standards are prioritized, We will pull together the vertical teams of teachers representing multiple grade levels so that we can meet and review one another's prioritized standards. We will ask questions like, are there any gaps or overlaps or omissions when you look at this set of K-5 or this set of 612 priority standards? Will students be prepared for the next grade if these are the priority standards in each grade level? Are there neglected or potentially overemphasized areas? So it's going to give us an opportunity to look at it as a whole picture, well, as a partial picture, because we aren't going to be doing it K-12 right now, but that is something that's on our radar that will need to happen eventually. As I said in the first video, a member of the Department of Learning team will schedule and facilitate this discussion during the week of August 3rd. So we will be in touch with each of you about finding a date and time that works, and we'll build the process for that. Here we are in the last couple of slides. So next steps. So now that you've done the overview, you've watched the Larry Ainsworth work, you've almost finished this presentation, the next step will be for you to familiarize yourself with the available resources. So we are asking you take a look at the Curriculum Expectations IC map again to remind yourself about some of our vision and guide for the work we do around curriculum and standards. You should refamiliarize yourself with the academic standards. And so I'd encourage you to spend a little bit of time reviewing your own grade level standards and also those that come before and after your grade level. And then for those in the MYP subject area, MYP grade levels, the subject area guides are here. And we'd encourage you to review the aims, objectives, and criteria, as that is part of the composite picture for the grade level work that you do. The next step after that is to complete the standards prioritization assessment, which again is built off of our learning targets. And then finally, we just want you to make sure that you have the support and information you need. So our IB curriculum coordinators, Diane Tiffany and Melissa Miller, and I all stand at the ready to help and support you. So don't hesitate to reach out to us. And as I try to bring this to a close, I'll just finish with these learning targets and success criteria. Again, this particular presentation should have been able to help name and describe the 3 criteria for prioritizing standards, and for you to be able to outline the process for how you'll collaborate with peers to identify and align priority standards. Thank you. Again, if you need support, here we are. Please reach out. Thank you so much for participating and being a part of this. I hope this training has been helpful in understanding the how we're going to proceed with the standards prioritization, and know that I'm very excited to see the product of your work with your colleagues identifying priority standards. Thanks and take care.